This is the last theme, and we have five passages for this as well. Uh, we'll complete it today. I don't think we'll be able to complete it today because there's a lot of explanation that needs to be done. But I believe that we'll be able to complete it by tomorrow, and then we'll begin with the past papers for question one of paper one. And next week you'll have your test for all the 15 passages that we have covered so far. So we have covered Allah Himself, we have covered Allah and prophets. Now we are starting Allah and creation, and I believe by tomorrow we'll be able to complete it with past paper practice. And next week on Saturday, you have a test of all 15 passages for those who have just joined. All right. So, beginning with Surah Fatiha, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The main theme of Surah Fatiha is that the qualities of Allah Ta'ala, the qualities of mainly mercy and forgiveness are mentioned in Surah Fatiha, and that it is Allah Ta'ala who presides over judgment and control the worlds, and Allah Ta'ala gives guidance to those who ask for the straight path. So this is an important sentence and holds great significance because in Surah Fatiha the word comes Siratul Mustaqim. Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim, right? So Siratul Mustaqim means straight path. So basically, Surah Fatiha is a sort of supplication that we pronounce 5 times a day during our first salah and during our nafil salah as well. So basically, we're asking Allah Taala to guide us on the right path and to not leave us and to basically be guided on the straight path in order to get successful in hereafter. And basically, we are asking for His help, and because Allah Ta'ala is the only one who can grant us anything, and He's the master of all creation, so only He is deserving of worship. Once again, we need to be mindful that we do not indulge in any sort of shirk or we do not associate any lords knowingly or unknowingly. We need to be extremely mindful. For example, like I mentioned in the previous classes as well, that people have this tendency to believe that a black dot or black threads or some threads from some shrines or from some famous people, they will be a source of protection for us. So that is not true. That is a category of shirk. And if any one of us is habitual, or if you see anyone around yourself, then you can respectfully tell them that this is a shirk if they do not know, and it will be a source of sadqa jariya for you because you will be able to save people from committing shirk knowingly or unknowingly, right? And all right. So the first few verses establish Allah Ta'ala as our Lord of the worlds. Then mercy is established, then guidance is established. So you need to remember these three things as well. These are very important. You need to remember that Surah Fatiha is initially it is establishing that Allah Ta'ala is Lord of the worlds, and then his attribute of mercy is being established, and then his attribute of guidance is being established. So do not mix up this flow. Remember this in the same way it is written. All right. Now moving towards the importance of Surah Fatiha, that it is recited in every prayer, and no prayer is accepted without Surah Fatiha. And basically, it is a supplication, it is a dua, it is a conversation with Allah Ta'ala, who is the creator, and Allah Ta'ala replies to each of the verse. So when we are reciting Surah Fatiha during our namaz, during our salah, then we need to think that we are talking to Allah Ta'ala directly, and we should not get distracted during our salahs, because in during your salah you are literally establishing your direct connection, your one-on-one connection with Allah Ta'ala, who is the Lord of this entire universe, right? So we need to be respectful. We need to be mindful, and we should not be distracted with whatever is going around us, because we cannot disrespect our Lord. We cannot disrespect the King of this universe, right? And then through it, human communicate with Allah Ta'ala. Muslim use this to ask for guidance. Once again, the verse that says Siratul Mustaqim, Ihdina Siratul Mustaqim, that Ya Allah, please guide us on the straight path. And for mercy and help, even outside the prayer. Submitting to Allah Ta'ala brings humbleness into lives, and because Muslims are accountable to Allah Ta'ala, they pray to be guided on the straight path. So I think this is very easy to understand. There's no further explanation that needs to be done. I mentioned this last time as well, that Allah Ta'ala has 100 parts of mercy, right? And Allah Ta'ala has just revealed one part of mercy in this world. And that mercy of one part is between you and your parents, between you and your siblings, between Allah Ta'ala and you. So Allah Ta'ala has reserved 99 parts of His mercy for Yawm al Qiyamah. And through His mercy, we'll be able to enter Jannat if Allah Ta'ala wills. So we need to imagine that a mother loves her child so much, right? But that love is just one part of Allah Ta'ala's mercy. Imagine the 99 parts that Allah Ta'ala has reserved for Yawm al Qiyamah, and how much Allah Ta'ala is merciful towards us, because our deeds are not enough for us that will lead us to Jannat. We are very negligent about Amal Soleh, and we are extremely ignorant towards the concept of hereafter. So it will be only Allah Ta'ala's mercy that will lead us to Jannat, inshallah. So far, are we all clear with Surah Fatiha? Can we move on?
Yes.
Perfect. So next is Surah Zilzal, and this is a very important surah, because this surah is basically telling us the scenario, the scene of Yawm al Qiyamah, that how this world will come to an end. So, Allah Ta'ala's power, which will shake the earth. So, a massive earthquake will hit the earth, which will destroy everything that Allah Ta'ala has created. It will destroy every human being that will be alive at that time. It will destroy everything that is in this world. And only Allah Ta'ala has a power to give life and death. And we believe that we have a strong belief that once we die, we Allah Ta'ala will bring us back to life on Yawm al Qiyamah, where we'll be held accountable for our deeds, and then we live a life. Then we'll live a permanent life. After that, we'll not experience death, and Allah Ta'ala will give the earth a voice to say what has been done on her. So this is very important. That even on Yawm al Qiyamah, this earth will speak itself that what injustice has been done on this earth. For example, once again, people of Gaza, the oppression that we are seeing through the pictures, we cannot even imagine what those people are going through. And surely on Yawm al Qiyamah, earth will speak about the injustice that has been done on those innocent people. Their families have been vanished, their families have been wiped out completely. So, from environmental abuse or neglect of resources to caring for animals, everything will be crystal clear on Yawm al Qiyamah. Everything will be evident, and everything will speak for itself, will speak about the injustice that has been done by human beings. So Muslims, not only Muslims, but everyone, all the people will be accountable for their actions on earth, and Allah Ta'ala will be the judge of people's accounts, which will take them to heaven or hell. His justice will be seen. So it is clearly mentioned in Surah Al-Jal that even if we do a small deed, good deed, then we'll be given jazaa khair for it, and even our smallest of bad deeds, Allah Ta'ala may ignore it due to His mercy, but our smallest good deed will not go into waste. So this is Allah Ta'ala's promise. And I'll suggest that other than Surah Zilzal being the part of your syllabus, do recite Surah Zilzal, and do listen to the translation of Surah Zilzal, because it's very heart touching. When I used to read it, basically I do read Quran very often, and when I read Surah Zilzal, it literally gives me goosebumps, because the entire scenario of Yawm al-Qiyamah is being described in this surah, and it is very mind opening, and very, and we it reminds us that how short this life is, and how will be on the Qiyamah. It is extremely intimidating. So we need to constantly pray for ourselves that Ya Allah, please save us from your wrath on Yawm al-Qiyamah, because if Allah Ta'ala will not grant His mercy, then we'll be led to Jahannam, Nauzubillah, which is a very painful destination for a believer. So we need to constantly pray for ourselves that with that due to Allah Ta'ala's mercy, we enter into paradise and not into Jahannam. The importance of Surah Zindar is that the last day creates a fear of accountability. So this is an important keyword. Sorry. I meant to highlight this word only. Mm, mm, Fear of accountability, and it reminds Muslims to stay on the straight path. Good deeds will be reported. So this is another keyword that we need to mention into our script while we answer Surah Zilzal. And it encourages Muslims to do good at all times, like following the pillars, being honest, and helping others. It keeps them away from dislike things like lying, cheating, gossiping, and not obeying God's commandments. It helps Muslims understand the temporary nature of the world, which can prevent them from being distracted by worldly things, whether it's fashion, money, gaming, or work. Muslims should feel comforted by Allah Ta'ala's justice that no good deed will go unnoticed and no bad deed will be left unpunished. So these are the important lessons from Surah Zilzal. And apart from adding them into our script during our CAI, we need to understand it what is written over here, and we need to practically implement all of these pointers into our practical life. That we need to understand the temporary nature of this world, and we need to have this fear of accountability. Like for example, when I see youngsters around myself, and when I ask them, usually I ask this from my those students who are on site with me, because I have quite a lot of time with them. So I practically asked them that, do you when you came here at my place, did you offer your namaz before coming, or how many prayers did you offer today? So majority of them used to say that we did not offer any, and it should be an inculcated seed in yourself that we cannot leave our prayers, and because we do not have this fear of accountability, right? So this is why we tend to ignore the commandments of Allah Ta'ala. Yet we forget that on Yawm al-Qiyamah, not a single deed of ours will be left unanswered. We have to answer why we did not pray, and no excuse. There's no excuse to leave any salah. Right. So it is a very essential component of our lives. And like we eat, we sleep, we drink, we should pray it similar way. This is like the minimum that we can do for ourselves, that we do not leave Salah. And we should have this fear of accountability that will help us to motivate offering Salah on time. So let's not be ignorant, and let's not be negligent about our salahs especially. So I deeply emphasize on praying and for supplicating, because this is the only way um, your heart will get tranquility. Because it is also said in Quran that for those who are patient, and for those who are patient, they should seek Allah Ta'ala's pleasure from salah and from duas. So we need to be mindful with our salahs and with our duas as well. Okay. Then we have Surya Alaq. So Surya Alaq, I told something about Surya Alaq in the previous class. What was it? I told about the significance of Surya Alaq.
It's the first revelation by
Hmm.
for Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
Exactly. So this is the first revelation, and this is highly important surah. And the main theme of Surah Alaq is it briefly describes how a human being was created with a clot of blood, and that Allah Ta'ala is the creator, which is shown in the surah through the way humans were created from a clot of blood. And it focuses on Allah Ta'ala's favor and mercy on humanity. Divine revelation is the beginning of Islam. So, like I said, that this is very important. You need to remember that this was Surah Alaq was the first revelation which marked the beginning of Islam and prophethood of Nabi Kareem. He gives creation what they need. In this case, knowledge of God. So basically, the first ayat mubarak of Surah Alaq emphasize upon getting knowledge. So we need to understand that Allah Ta'ala has greatly emphasized on getting knowledge, because this was the first revelation, right? And the first revelation is talking about gaining knowledge or reading, or it taught us the importance of pen. So if you're unable to understand this right now, then I would suggest that you like after the class you go through the translation of Surah Alaq, because in the translation of Surah Alaq, it is clearly mentioned it is clearly mentioned that we need to get knowledge, we need to gain knowledge, and it talks about the importance of pen, and there's an emphasis on acquiring knowledge and recognizing the knowledge that Allah Ta'ala gives to humankind. Like Hazrat Adam, we already talked about Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam in the previous class, that how he knew the names of everything which the angels did not know, and how Shaitan invades Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, and he indulged into arrogance, which led him to being thrown out of Jannat. Right? So Surya Alaq is highly important, and it talks about how human beings were created. So this is an important thing that you need to add in your script. And it deeply emphasizes on acquiring knowledge and recognizing that knowledge that Allah Ta'ala gives to humankind. And yeah, so these are the important things that you need to mention in your scripts. Next, the importance of Surah Alaq is that the importance of the surah is that it allows human to understand how Allah Ta'ala created them from nothing, because we were nothing. Then from a clot of blood, our entire body is shaped. So this is a miracle of Allah Ta'ala. We are a living miracle, and that seeking knowledge is encouraged, and so humankind should try their best to learn throughout their lives, especially religious knowledge, so that they can get to know their Lord. Each subject has a value to it and can help human get closer to Allah Ta'ala. It also helps Muslim understand how prophethood and Islam started, and they should reflect upon what Allah Ta'ala has sent down for them to help them live their lives. Therefore, they should be grateful to Allah Ta'ala. So we need to be grateful. This marked the beginning of Islam and how prophethood and Islam started. This is also the importance of Surah Alaq. Then we need to write, what else do we need to write? Yes, that religious knowledge is important. So why is religious knowledge important? So we can get closer to Allah Ta'ala, we can attain His pleasure, and that how we have been created from nothing. This is also important. So these are the keywords that you need to mention in your script for Surah Alaq. Moving towards Surah Baqarah. Surah Baqarah, now this is verse number 21 till 22. So we have talked about Surah Baqarah in multiple themes. So this is why it is highly important that you learn that 21 till 22 verses of Surah Baqarah are referring to the theme of Allah and creation and not of any other theme. Okay. So main theme is that Allah Ta'ala is the creator of humankind, so they should only worship Him, worship God as a creator, and worshiping. So basically, these words are the keywords itself: worship, creator, and these are the keywords, and the sentence is written afterwards. That Allah Ta'ala as a creator is only worthy of worship. Piety, this is another keyword, and Allah Ta'ala's worship creates piety. Creation, this is another keyword, that he also created what is for the benefit of humankind: guidance, fertile earth, shade and water from sky, sustenance. This is also a keyword. So these are the keywords, right? And these are highly important. You'll have to add them in your script, or else you'll lose your marks. God also provides sustenance to His creatures. He also made permanent arrangement and set up systems for that. Then gratitude, that people should be grateful to Allah Ta'ala for what He has created and provided. Then it talks about shirk, that humankind should not commit shirk, because it is one of the greatest sins. And then Tawheed. So it talks about Tawheed. So basically, this Surah Baqarah is talking about many things: creator, worship, piety, creation, sustenance, gratitude, shirk, and Tawheed. And you'll have to mention each one of them. You do not have to miss any of them, right? So this is not an optional thing. You need to remember all these things, that these verses of Surah Baqarah are telling that Allah Ta'ala is the creator of humankind, and that He is only worthy of worship, and that worshipping Allah Ta'ala creates piety in human beings. Then creation, we have been created by Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala for us has provided sustenance. Sustenance means that He has given us various of things to live our life. Like He has given us earth to live on, He has given us sun. So sun, basically, what is sun doing? It provides us light, and with the help of sun, plants are able to photosynthesize, they make their food, they release oxygen, and with oxygen, we are able to breathe. And Allah Ta'ala has given water for us to drink. And then we need to be grateful for whatever Allah Ta'ala has given to us. And then we need to be mindful of shirk, that we do not associate partners with Allah Ta'ala, and only Allah Ta'ala is worthy of worship, and that only Allah Ta'ala is our creator and sustainer. So these are the important main themes of Surah Baqarah, verse number 21 to 22. Then the importance of Surah Baqarah, verse 21 to 22 is the themes of these verses invite people to contemplate about God and nature, that human must worship their creator. The natural world is a comfort for humankind. So this earth is a comfort for us, obviously, because we have water, we have earth, we have sun. So these are all the blessings of Allah Ta'ala. And so they should look after it. God provides the world for humankind. So humans should be responsible for looking after the environment and not be wasteful. Like we tend to cut trees, so it should be a part of us that we do not cut down the trees, or if we are cutting, then we should sow seeds again and again, because if you can already see the effect of global warming, because we are continuously wasting these natural resources that Allah Ta'ala has provided for us, and due to our urbanization, we just cut them and we do not replace them, and this is now leading towards global warming. We can experience it in our daily lives, that the temperature of the city wherever you are living, it has increased up to greater folds. And then gratefulness to Allah Ta'ala, because Allah Ta'ala does not like our attitude of being ungrateful towards the blessings. Then humans should acknowledge who their sustenance has come from and rely on Allah Ta'ala for everything. They should also abstain from setting rivals with Allah Ta'ala. So this means that we should avoid associating partners with Allah Ta'ala. We should avoid going to shrines. We should avoid going to famous people for the sake that they are going to help us, or for the sake that they are going to bring us out of difficulty, because it is only Allah Ta'ala who is going to bring us out of any difficulty or any calamity, rather than people, rather than famous people, rather than saints or shrines or graves. Right? So we should not set rivals with Allah Ta'ala. Then we have Surah Nas. So I believe we are able to complete Allah in creation, because this is the last passage. And inshallah, tomorrow we'll begin the past papers of this question one. So Surah Nas is the last verse of Holy Quran. And again, so virginity, it means that Allah Ta'ala is establishing himself as the Lord of the worlds, as the King, as the Malik, as the true God. And then the main theme of Surah Nas is divine protection as well, that we need to recite Surah Nas when we think or when we feel that we are surrounded with evils or with harms, or any black magic has been casted upon us. Then we should recite Surah Nas, Surah Falak. Uh, all right, Ishal, I'll show you the importance of Surah Baqarah. Just let me complete this one and then I'll go back. God instructs to seek divine protection against all evils and harms. He is a protector from invisible beings, such as jinn and humankind, because humankind tend to do black magic. And then it talks about Allah Ta'ala's help, that only Allah Ta'ala can help us in the times of need. And in the case from jinns and human beings that have the intention to cause harm, and we should only seek Allah Ta'ala's help and control, that He created everything. He created everything, so He controls everything. And even the mischief makers who continuously plan and plot against us. And it is also a warning. The control is a keyword. Warning is a keyword. That it's a warning about those who whisper evil, bad ideas to humans and then disappear and leave them on their own. So this is a very important verse. This is a very important sentence, that shaitan is continuously trying to put waswasa in our minds, right? Whenever we tend to do something good, he puts ifs and buts into our minds, and he tends to make us guilty that Allah Ta'ala does not like us, Allah Ta'ala does not love us, or Allah Ta'ala is not merciful towards us. We continuously have these thoughts, and it is all because of shaitan, and shaitan then leads us to the wrong pathways, and then on day of judgment, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, he's not going to come for us, he's not going to fight for us, he is our clear enemy. So Allah Ta'ala will surely and certainly give him punishment for misleading human beings, for misleading for misleading even believers, because we do not have this guarantee that if we are Muslim, then we are not going to be misled. We also get misled in the same way disbelievers get. But I think we are, Alhamdulillah, we are secure from the element of shirk. But unknowingly, we do commit shirk, and we'll talk about this some other time as well. That how many shirks there are and how we are committing shirk in our daily lives. Then the importance of Surah Nas is that Allah Ta'ala is the King, so it is him who people should seek refuge with. This is an important keyword. Through these verses, Muslims get to know the kind of evil, mischief, like the black magic they have to be aware of. For example, invisible beings, jinns, humans, or internal whisperings such as jealousy, and they should be aware of what is happening to them so that they can recognize the signs of mischief and temptations, because we are always tempted towards the wrong things. All the wrong things look good to us, all the wrong things look fancy to us, like having extravagant weddings or listening to musics and doing gossips. All of this is very tempting, right? So we should be extremely mindful of these temptations, and when we suffer from these temptations, we should seek Allah Ta'ala's help by reciting Surah Nas again and again, so that those temptations can go away on their own and we do not commit any sin. Then it strengthens reliance on Allah Ta'ala. It creates trust in Allah Ta'ala's control, authority, and protection, as well as awe for God's immense powers. And reciting this surah along with other quls is a source of protection. So, with this being said, we have concluded question one of paper one. And Ishal, this is the importance of Surah Baqarah. I'll also send the slides for all three themes. And do you have any questions? Are we all clear? Are we all good? Are we all on the same page? Right. Ibrahim, are you there? Ibrahim, Fatma.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so have you understood? Are we all on the same page?
Yes.
All right. So for tomorrow, what you need to do is, before we begin our class tomorrow, do revise all the 15 passages so we can attempt past papers easily. Because if you will not remember, then you'll struggle in attempting the script of the answers. So try to revise them beforehand. And inshallah, we'll schedule your test for question one of paper one on next Saturday. All right. All right. So take care and Jazakallah khair. I'm sending you the slides and recordings in a while. Jazakallah for joining.